breakfast tasted good, so I had one more for dessert. I fumbled through my closet. In my clothes I found my cleanest, dirty shirt. I combed my hair and washed my face, stumbled down the stairs to meet the day. Well, I smoked my mind the night before on cigarettes and songs that I've been picking. First, and I watched a small kid cursing the can he was kicking. Then somewhere in the distance I caught the familiar smell of someone's roasting chicken. Oh, and it brought me back to something that I lost along the way. Sunday morning sidewalk, I'm wishing, Lord, that I was stoned. For there's something about a Sunday that makes the body feel alone. And there's nothing short of dying that's half as lonesome as the sound of the sleeping city sidewalk and Sunday morning coming down. In the park I saw a daddy with a laughing little girl that he was swinging. I stopped beside a Sunday school and I listened to the songs that they were singing. Then somewhere in the distance I heard the sound of a lonely bell ringing. And it brought me back to something that I lost along the way. On a Sunday morning sidewalk, I'm wishing, Lord, that I was stoned. For there's something about a Sunday that makes a body feel alone. And there's nothing short of dying, oh, half as lonely as the sound of a sleeping city sidewalk and Sunday morning coming down. Thank you very much.
So why this pub? Why the small cop art? Why did you film a video here?
Well, it's one of the pubs in Harlem where we've done a Sunday monthly residency over the years. We like it here. I mean, it's nice and cosy. Successive landlords and landladies who've worked here, George Brabs, Karen, Dave Sampson at the moment. They've always asked us to come back and do a Sunday lunchtime here, so we quite enjoy it. And we shot a video here because of that, really. The people who were making our video, Cornered by Ray, Jenny and Richard Dallin, they met us here to talk about it, and they said, well, why not do the show right here? So we ended up in January doing our video, Cornered by Ray here. And incidentally, this pub we were talking about earlier. My dad, who's a born and bred Irishman, had his first ever pint in this pub when he came to work in Harlem as a young man. He had taken the pledge in Ireland as an 18-year-old, which meant that he couldn't drink.
But it was okay to come over here.
It was okay to come over. My uncle Dennis dragged him in here. But my dad suffered the indignity of being thrown into a pub at opening time. It's so often the other way around. So he had his first pint in this pub when he was about 21. So it feels like coming home when we play here. It's nice and cosy, and the crowd are always nice and friendly. And now it's immortalised in our video Cornered by Ray. So we enjoy it, don't we? We enjoy playing it. Yeah.
So you say it feels a bit like coming home, and
Yeah.
you've got a bit of family history with the pub and Harlow.
Yeah.
Now, did you grew up in Harlow?
Yeah.
And you live in Royton?
At the moment, yeah, I live on a boat as it goes, but
Okay.
Yeah. So,
I'm on the river at Roydon, on the Stort at
But
Roydon.
you both of your families are from Harlow?
yeah.
Well, we were born in Harlow, and our families, my mum came from Cornwall, my dad came from South London. Your parents are, Irish,
Yeah.
aren't they?
Yeah. Last
So,
time I looked, yeah.
Like a lot of people, we're what's that make us? First generation Harlow.
Yeah,
Ourselves.
yeah. Born and bred and buttered, and proud of it. We were both born in Princess Alexandra Hospital.
No, our place.
Oh, were you in the house?
I'm home, yeah.
Right.
It's 71. It's not actually.
Is there a plaque?
marked
Is there a
yet.
plaque up
No,
there?
but there should probably be some sort of campaign for 71 archives
We'll
to be noted.
English Heritage will work on that, definitely, with a little bit of
It might be
encouragement.
posthumous, but
Well, I was born in Princess Alexandra Hospital, PAH, and I'm Paul Anthony Howard, so I think my mum named me after the initials of Princess Alexandra Hospital, PAH.
makes it easy, doesn't it?
Yeah, for her to remember. But so it's a brilliant place to grow up, to be born and to grow up. You had industrial estates with green swathes of park next to them with horses running around. And
You had the corporation, didn't you? I mean, we grew up in a time when there was Harlow Corporation, so you had the free concerts in the town park.
Unbelievable.
You had the family concerts on a Sunday.
Yeah.
With entertainments for the kids, and so people forget that when they talk about culture and Harlow. Just how family-centric it was.
And it was threaded through with all these cycle paths and things like that. It was a bit of a dream place to grow up in, really.
And a Labour town as well, socialist outlook as well. It's
Yeah.
important to remember in these kind of times. People forget, with the shrinking state and the loss of the NHS and various other kind of political changes we've seen over time. There were lots of good things.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure there still is,
Okay, so you talked a bit about the culture in Harlow. Was it being Harlow and being around that culture that kind of got you into playing music and performing and being involved in that kind of scene growing up?
In part, I can remember going to the Playhouse, very young, 5 or 6 year old, going with my mum and going with my parents, being Irish music. I have Irish music sessions actually in the bar at the Playhouse, seeing jazz music. You could go down the park and it was all on for free, pop concerts, Jazz Kenny Ball.
Yeah.
And
George
people,
Melly. Yeah.
George Melly, all of that, so there was quite a cultural life. So I mean, I think for myself, I had a natural interest in music, and that was kind of fed by some of those things that I've just mentioned. Like yourself.
Yeah. I mean, and going up to the studio theatre at the Playhouse, things like that, when we were teenagers and discovering things in the music, and the fact that there were these kind of Henry Moore statues littered around the place. It was there was something of, we mentioned on our new album, Time Gentleman, one of the songs about Newtown optimism. It runs through you. You don't
There was
think,
still some of that around when there was we were growing
well,
up.
there's still some there now.
Yeah.
That kind of frontier kind of mentality, I think, of being in a new place.
There was this idea you picked up from people from other towns, because it was a new town. It didn't have much of a soul, or there wasn't the history connected. I don't think any of that was ever true, or we never felt like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's what you bring to the table as well as what you bring to the party. It's made up of the people. There's a big overflow from East London. There's a huge Irish community, which I was central to my upbringing, and it all adds to the kind of mix and to the, it's still there. So I think it's still there.
Okay, so you said you got a new album out.
Yeah.
What are you doing to promote it? How can we get hold of the new album? What's it about? Tell us
Well,
about the album.
our website, if you Google Howard and Clack, it's Paul Howard and Joe without an E, Clack. Google Howard and Clack, it's the quickest way you get our website.
Howard Clack and Time Gentleman.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
album.
yeah.
That would bring you up to it.
Yeah, we don't make it easy for ourselves, do we? We could have come up with a name like U2, I mean, really simple, but anyway. But what we're doing to promote it, I mean, we do the odd gig and we're incorporating and utilising.
I think in a lot of senses that the promotion hasn't actually kicked in, is it? Because one of the things we've taken the last 2 years in producing the album, a lot of that was finishing off some of the songs. Some of the songs are quite old on there. It's a whole range, up to more recent ones. That's taken a 2-year kind of period, and we really kind of let the album speak for itself for the time being. In a lot of ways, we're hoping to gig the album later in the year during the autumn.
Yeah.
But really, it's there for people to find. I think in a lot of ways the songs will speak for themselves.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because
We're very proud of the
We've been
album.
doing these, very proud of it. Well, we've been doing these pub gigs and writing songs on the side, our own songs. And the time was right. We just thought, like, let's not just go into carry on doing pub gigs where you play covers that people know, and let's get this recording done. And, it's still got legs. We've still got legs, So and we're really pleased with how it's turned out. It's been really well received as well.
Yeah, and the creative aspect is the core of what we've always done in any case. A lot of musicians will say that probably our age, but
Yeah.
but it's good to keep that creativity going, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there's lots more there that we want to say in the song in any case.
So what's the difference between maybe making an album when you're sort of in your early 20s and making an album at this time in your life?
That's a good one.
It takes longer.
Yeah, it takes longer now, and there's less
Like
time.
many things.
When we were because we first started writing together 30 years ago when we were kids, we were teenagers. So there was a lot of sitting around at Joe's dad's house drinking Blue Label vodka from Gilby's.
So they were very generous actually
Yeah,
in
yeah.
supplies. We could have been sponsored by Gilby's in the early days.
So we'd kind of bunk off school or college and listen, write all these songs, and we were listening to all classic song, Paul Robeson and Edith Piaf and Nina Simone, and let's try and write songs like that. So we had lots of time then to do things, and we'd play around. We'd play in Harlem and London, Cambridge, all over. Then we kind of drifted off and did our own separate things, and it was only about 8 years ago we kind of got back together. And we said, well, do you remember when people used to say that our songs sound like they were written by old men, and we were 19? Well, now we are old men. Let's see how it sounds when we write songs now. And it's almost like we've kind of grown into ourselves. It makes more sense to what we do now than it did when we were 19.
Yeah,
That was that long ago.
I think that vision, kind of what we looked at, which was a lot of kind of older music in its time, wasn't it? Which we kind of aspired to.
Yeah.
Maybe we're kind of a bit younger and naive to realise some of that.
Yeah.
So hopefully we've done some of that with the new album.
The new album, yeah. And we called it Time Gentleman. I mean, it's almost a reminder. We've been around forever. We're older than God's dog, But it just seems right to make the record now, and it's been well received. So.
Only wanna see you laughing in the purple rain, purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Only Tess Romero.